Is this filming? Fantastic! What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Uh, Honestly, I should start thinking of like my own kind of slogan, for these video. Cause I was watching who is it? I was watching Horse Meat, the guy that talks about, relationships and stuff. And he always said, "What's going on, guys? Another day, another dollar." you know? And I love that. I should think of that. Maybe next time. But uh this time we are talking about something else. But before that, I want to give a little bit of an update. Uh I've honestly, after a couple of videos, I've gotten really comfortable with speaking in front of a camera. And it's kind of unbelievable because, I've always taken myself for a pretty introverted, antisocial person, but here we are. I love speaking to a camera. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. The point, or rather, the topic of this video that I wanted to talk about is how without a goal, you will eventually hit burnout. And that cannot be further from the truth from my experiences. I'm an artist, or I used to be an artist. I love to draw, okay? Like, man, there are days where I used to draw like 8 hours at a time. Um, but I didn't really have a goal, right? I was just trying so that I could be better. Oh, let me put this away. My AirPods. Oh, okay, there it goes. It's on the floor now. But I used to draw, and I got into drawing because I had this one friend, right? It's called Bob. Bob was at the time to me very, very good at drawing. Talented guy. He wanted to get into the art industry. Um, and he inspired me to get into drawing. But what ended up happening was that I didn't like drawing because I wanted to draw, but because I wanted to prove something. Because I wanted to prove that through my hard work, through the relentless hours that I put in, I could get way better than this friend of mine. By the way, we're still friends to this day, so no beef on him, okay? Uh, so, I drew day after day, and eventually I got to the point where I'm very satisfied with the progress. Uh, I don't want to like suck my own ego, but I think I got a little bit better than him, right? And I showed him his art, my art, and instead of God, this is gonna sound so arrogant, but it's okay. I want to be truthful on here, okay? I want to express my feelings. Instead of being like, "Oh wow, that's amazing. I'm so proud for you. I'm so proud of you. Wow, you're so good. I'm so glad you did it." All I got was cool. And okay, yeah, nice. Good for you. Wow, you're so good. And, I was like, damn, that's it? Thinking back, that is like that is a very shallow way of thinking, but you know, I was a teen, I was competitive, and I wanted to prove that I was capable of something. Uh and so after that happened, it just I'm not gonna lie, it just went downhill from there. Um I started dropping off very hard. And then here today, I completely stopped drawing. um there was a point in time where I was known for, or in my friend group, I was known as that guy who drew for 8 hours a day, never left his house. But eventually the drive wasn't there anymore. I started drawing a lot less. Went to from 8 to 6 to 4, 3, and then eventually just 1 hour a day. And I wasn't drawing because I loved drawing. I just drew because I wanted to maintain my status of being an artist. I wanted to go around and say, "Oh, I'm a creative person. I love drawing." You know? Uh so here we are now. I don't I gave up on art. And the point I wanted to make, right, for this video, and why I went on this big tangent, is because I want to warn you guys against doing anything that doesn't come from within. Okay? That you don't have a goal that you want for yourself that's going to give you fulfillment. Okay? Let's say, let me think. Let's say I wanted to get good at fitness. Okay? And my reasoning for that was, oh, I want girls. I want to attract girls, right? Cuz I'm a boy, right? I want to attract the opposite gender. So, I go to the gym, I lift hard, I get my diet on point. Uh but I don't work up here. Who I am as a person, all of my insecurities, all of that, they're still there, they're the same. I'm still the same person, even though I look different from the outside, right? And after, let's say, after I got the good body, right? I go to show it off. I wear a tight compression shirt or a tank top. But I start to realize, wait, no one looks at me. No one's looking at me. Why are the girls not on me? So what starts to happen? I start to get demotivated. I start thinking of thoughts in my head like, oh, what the heck? I'm not getting what I want, and I still have to continue putting all this hard work in, day out, day in, day out. And eventually that's going to get to the point where my discipline, right? Because motivation is good and all, right? You could be motivated by external things. In the fitness example, it was to get girls, right? Motivation eventually will start to wear off. Slowly, 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 until it reaches zero, and you completely start to crash out. And then you just, let's say you're running this way, you're running the opposite direction because there's no point, right? This is where discipline comes in, okay? Discipline is doing the things that you don't feel like doing anymore, but you know you should still do, right? Now, having discipline is good and all, but you only have so much discipline, just like motivation, right? Eventually, you're going to reach a point, or at least for me in my particular example, reached a point where my discipline was not enough anymore, right? I didn't, oh, what the heck? Anyways, I didn't see any point in drawing anymore, right? Uh, and the reason why I was so disciplined to keep trying for 3 whole years, right? Day in, day out, was because I was afraid of losing that identity of myself, right? I tell myself, oh, I should still draw just because I'm an artist. If I don't draw, okay, my alarm is going off. If I don't draw, then I wasted the last 3 years of my life. And, to a certain degree, that is exactly what happened. But I've found that that's okay. Sometimes things aren't meant to be. And you kind of just have to learn to move on. Oh, wow. I went on a 5 minute tangent. Oh, shucks. Anyways, let me get back on track. Where was I? Oh, goals. You can ignore all this if you have a goal that you truly want, that comes from the inside. What do they call it? Intrinsic motivation, right? You know that saying where it goes like, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life? That's kind of true to a certain extent. When I there was a point in my art journey where I loved drawing. Every day I woke up, the only thing I could think of was drawing, right? And that's how I was able to draw for 8 hours a day, including the competition against my friend, of course. And I think for anyone who have things they want to achieve in life, have a goal, bro. Please. If you wander around too much, you're going to disperse your energy everywhere, right? Let's say you don't have a concrete goal, right? You're gonna want to distract yourself a lot more, right? Let's say, oh, you want to become a computer scientist, right? You want to become a computer scientist. Uh, you do it, it gets hard. You just do it because someone told you that it's a good skill to learn to get a job, but you don't really like it, right? Eventually, something else is going to attract you, right? This is what do we call this? Shiny object syndrome, right? You're gonna go another way. You're gonna disperse. Now you're dispersing your energy 2 ways. So you're cutting your efficiency in half. Eventually, if this other thing gets hard, you're gonna want to go this other way. Now it's a third. Now it's a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. You get the point. You get the point, right? That's why a lot of people feel lost in life because they haven't set a goal and they haven't pursued that path enough. They haven't concentrated all of their energy into that one thing for them to get substantial result, to see substantial results, right? But I believe that once you're able to find a thing that you really like, you concentrate on it for a while, literally just, I don't want to say ignore everything else. You should still prioritize your health above all things, but really just pow, 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 slam that thing down. Focus on it. You will have an identity. Then eventually you won't feel lost. And because that something comes from intrinsic motivation, you'll wake up every day and then you'll want to do it more. You want to do it again and again and again. Eventually you're going to be a top 1% in that field. Then you'll probably get a career out of it because you're so good at it, right? You made a name for yourself. You're known as that one guy that's really good at that one thing. That's also how you get money too. That's how you get your finances together. You know, a lot of things in life, there's this what was it? Law of detachment, I think, where the less you care about something, the more likely you're likely to get it. Money is probably the same way, you know? If you just focus on yourself, get good at something, uh fix the internal of your mind, learn social skills, all of that, right? Money is gonna come as a byproduct of that. A lot of people get caught in, oh, I gotta get money, you know? I gotta get rich right now. It must happen right now. But what they don't understand is that you can't force yourself to get rich, you know? Can't do it. You gotta be able to give value to the world for it to give back to you, right? It's can't be a one-sided relationship. Got to be mutual. So go out there, you know, go out there, work on yourself, get a skill that internally you want to do. Got to be intrinsic motivation. Have a goal. Very important. The whole point of this video, have a goal because you know what to focus on. Have a goal and then reverse engineer it. Okay? Reverse engineer what you need to do to get to that goal. Do you want to become a millionaire? Reverse engineer it. What do you got to do? Maybe, oh, you got to start a business. How do you start a business? Yeah, you need funding. How do you get funding? Maybe you get a part-time job, save up, right? What else do you need? You need to learn how to influence people, learn the basics of sales, business, all that, right? Goes for any skill. Anyways, this was a long video. I hope you guys enjoy that. Hope it wasn't too much of a tangent. I value your time. Have a good rest of your day. Bye bye. Ooh.